So what is step one to finding a mentor? If I'm somebody right now and I find myself in a situation where I'm going, because I did this when I started the DJ business and I was growing it, I got myself in numerous situations. My wife and I, we got ourselves audited. It was probably my fault. I got us audited, and my wife helped deal with the cleanup, the wreckage, I guess. So we're getting audited. Well, I've never been audited before. I just know that the IRS is calling us to hang out with us, and we have a wonderful, she was a nice lady, but she would come to our house and, we get through our business, look through all the receipts and all that. I needed to kind of reach out to somebody who'd been through it, and luckily I was able to talk to a few people, and they said, well, this is how it's going to go down, this is how you do it, this is how you comply, this is what you need to do. But how do I, if I'm right now somebody who I find myself in a bad tax situation, I find myself needing money, I find myself wanting to start a company, somehow I feel stuck. What's step one to getting a mentor?
Well, you said it already. You had to look for someone who has been through it. Whether they have been through it, or they have knowledge about it, or they're on the journey the way you want to go, or they've written something that you want to know about, that becomes the first step. Knowing what your need is and looking in that marketplace of opportunities, who best can meet that need. Now, you may run across 5 or 6 people, but 5 or 6 people are not necessarily going to volunteer to say, I'll pick you up in the morning and I'll put you beside me and I'll share my secret.
When I first reached out to you, you were very busy. You're always very busy. You were very busy. You were speaking. And I think I called, I think it was Doug, maybe I called. If it wasn't Doug, it was somebody else. But I called and they say, Building the Community Institute, this is Doug. How can I help you? And I said, yes, I'd like to schedule a time to meet with Mr. Talbert about such and such. And I remember that they said something like, well, oh, you'll need to set an appointment. And at that point in my life, I wasn't a daytimer guy. So I was like, well, I'll just come on by tomorrow. And I remember hearing, well, you'll have to set an appointment. And I thought, oh, okay. And I thought I got rejected. So I, so I wasn't even prepared to have a teacher. Right. They always say when the student's ready, the teacher appears. What would you say for the entrepreneur out there, somebody who wants to get a mentor who they perceive to be busy? If they call the mentor and the mentor is too busy, what do? You just find another mentor? Do you keep calling, or do you just change your approach a little bit? Or because I think a lot of good mentors are busy.
Yeah, I don't think there are any solid one-word answers to this.
Okay.
But first of all, if you know what you need, I think you should scout out several people, first of all, who might have answers for you. Yeah. And then set in motion, like I got the email from the young man who says, I got some problems.
Yeah.
He may have sent out 5 emails, for all I know.
Yeah.
I don't know that, but I answer. And the other 4 may answer. I don't know. But you really want to somehow know what your needs are, be clearly defined of what you're looking for, and have several people that might be able to help you.
I always kind of call it the rule of 3, but I always try to have 3 options for anything.
Yeah.
So you reach out to multiple ones. Now, when you get there, what's the proper way to thank the mentor for their time after the mentor? Say you're preparing yourself to meet this mentor. What's the proper way to thank them for their time, maybe before the meeting and then after the meeting? What do you suggest?
Well, first of all, when someone is sharing something as valuable as time, this is how you thank them. It's not really verbally. May I borrow your pen?
Yes, sir.
Okay. It's like, let's say this is a notebook.
Yeah.
If you've taken somebody's time and they have been willing to do something for you, you make sure you bring something to write on.
Take notes.
You take notes. Mm-hmm. Because that's a clear sign that you are not wasting their time. Take notes. That's one of the best thank yous that you can give. Now, once you have finished and you got your notes, what you really want to do is look at those notes that you've taken. Pick one thing out of that note. Sir, could you tell me just a little bit more about this? This one thing. And that's going to further tell that person, this guy is really into this. He's interested. This girl is really interested. This young lady is really interested in
One person told me, they said, if you want to make a great first impression on a mentor, you want to have your questions imprinted on a piece of paper. You want to come there with the questions. I remember when I met with Chet Cadjo, who runs the Quick Trip. It's the big convenience store. I remember I was so excited to meet Chet. I had been forever trying to get an appointment with this guy. And I met him and I came with like a 2-page of questions. And I don't remember his exact wording, but it was something to the effect of, wow, you're prepared. And I got there a little bit early too. You know? And I do you suggest that, I mean, is that a good idea to maybe have your questions written out?
It's a good idea.
Okay.
And it's a good idea, and then the idea becomes better when you take notes of what's going on, and it becomes even better when you circle something you've written and say, could you go back over that one more time for me, please? And then the thank you, the handshake, the thank you, that becomes the icing on the cake.